everyone. How you doing? How are you all? Welcome today. It is Thursday. I bet you have never, out of all the Thursdays you have seen, out of all your life, all the Thursday you have seen, you have never seen this Thursday. Happy Thursday to you all. My name is Vonnie G, and I am host for Story Time. It is Thursday, so we start a little bit earlier than normal. Excuse me, real quick. There we are. And I'm back. Okay. We start a little earlier than normal. We start Thursday at 5. And then, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our scripture for today on Thursday. Thursday, we read the 10 Commandments, which is found in Exodus, the 20th chapter. And I like to start from verse 2 all the way down to the 17th verse. Okay. So I feel like I'm so up on y'all. My bad. Okay. I don't even know how I can. I don't know. Maybe that's the best. This is the best that we can do. Come on, covenant shirt. All right. So he tells, as a reminder, Most High tells us to guard the commandments. Why? Because he guards the covenant. All right. So we're going to go ahead and read. So Exodus 20:2, it reads, he says, I am Yahuwah Eloheka, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other Elohim before me. You shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah Eloheka, is a jealous owl, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation that do hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and guard my commandments. Okay? You shall not take the name Yahuwah Eloheka in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. Remember the day of the Sabbath. Come on, commandment. Remember the day of the Sabbath. Didn't say remember the day of Sunday. It said remember the day of Sabbath to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day, hello Sabbath day, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah Eloheka. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor the stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the day of the Sabbath and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah Eloheka gives you. You shall not kill. You shall not break wedlock. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not lust after your neighbor's house. You shall not lust after your neighbor's woman, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is of your neighbors. That is your neighbors. Okay. I just read to you Exodus, the 20th chapter, the 10 commandments, because a lot of times that's not being spoke on. And he tells us a very important thing. I mean, all of it is important in there. I'm not trying to say one is more important than the other. However, he do tell us to honor the Sabbath day. That's good. He tells us to guard the commandments. I wonder why he said guard the commandments, okay? Listen, as I make this obvious transition into the last book of Mr. Lee Cummins, The Negro Question, Part 7. Y'all, this book, it's so good. Let me go ahead and put this little disclaimer out there. First off, y'all, I'm a whole mom, okay? I'm a whole mom with a whole bunch of kids. Listen, some say 3 ain't a lot, but listen, sometimes them kids sound like they like 7 kids in one household, okay? So if you hear noise in the background, Just say, bless her family, bless her household, because we live here. Okay? That's all. That's all my disclaimer was. I wasn't going to disclaim anything about this book besides I didn't write it. I'm just reading it. All right, let's go in. Let's go in. Let's go in. Now, we left off, and I do, well, not really apologize. Well, yeah. We left off on the second chapter of the Negro Question. Yeah, second chapter, King George Black Parliament. And so this last week, I had the pleasure of going out on a retreat with some of the women in our assemblies. So that's why you didn't see me. And so we're going to have to recap just a little bit about what was being said. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead with Germany is swarthy / black. The colonial revolution started 25 years from the date of Benjamin Franklin's essay. Hardly enough time for the German people to go back from being black to white, okay? From black to white. From black to white. It was listen, it wasn't enough time for them to be like, all right, y'all, all right. Wasn't enough. It wasn't, okay? It wasn't enough. That's what he's trying to tell you. Okay, this book will prove that the Black British / German army occupied the 13 colonies. Also, if you didn't know about the 13 colonies, please be sure to pick up the 6th book on the Negro Question, because it's all about the 13 colonies. Benjamin Franklin, he said, and since detachments of English from Britain sent to America will have their places at home, so why soon supply and increase largely here? Why should the Palatine, I'm not sure, Palatine is talking about Germans, okay, be suffered to swarm into our settlements, and by herding together establish their language and manners to exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens? And like my auntie Shelley says, they're not talking about the aliens that's in the sky or something like that. Y'all, they talk about people just not from our country, okay? Who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our anglifying them. That's a powerful sentence right there. I like that, sir. And will never adopt our language or custom any more than they can acquire our complexion. Y'all just heard what I just said. It's all right, because he's going to break it down anyway. When Benjamin Franklin arrived in the 13 colonies, 1723, if you need the date, there was already a Black, Scottish / Irish, Dutch, Swede, German, and Welsh population present in great numbers. These Blacks were the seed of the original colonists who had come to North America in the days of King James VI of Scotland, King Charles I, King Charles II, and King James II / Duke of York. The data associated with the colonization of North America by these Black Scots and Black Brits can be found in the Negro Question Part 6, the 13 colonies, the 13 Black colonies. This was the reason that Benjamin Franklin sounded the alarm in his essay. The original colonists were Black. The American Indians were Black. And here comes another 70,000 Black Europeans, German and Scottish / Irish, pouring into Pennsylvania. See the Black Parliament on the next page, which I'm happy to show. Charles James Fox, British statesman and foreign secretary. Now listen, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Charles Fox is a short, fat, gross man with a swarthy complexion and dark eyebrows. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't know if he looks black. Just so you know, I'm not calling a man's name. That's what he said. Charles Fox is a short, fat, and gross man with a swarthy complexion. I'm not talking about nobody's ancestor today. I'll take that back because I might. All right. So, memoirs of the life and times of King George III. Fox figure is broad and heavy. That's a nice way to describe somebody that's fat. I don't think they'll be offended if you said, you know what, you're a bit broad and heavy. That's a good way. Okay, inclined to the corpulence or obesity. Okay, we don't like that word. His figure was harsh. Mm-mm-mm. Swarthy, or in parentheses, black, and ruddy. He looked like King Charles II, of whom he was the great great grandson. The most striking feature on his face was his black and shaggy eyebrows. Now, listen, let's not talk about people. Now, listen, don't talk about the brows, sir. Don't talk about the brows. Our eyebrows been. Charles Fox fits the eyewitness description from two different sources. So tell me, I will. So tell me, whose report are you going to believe? The eyewitness or this modern historian? Let's look at the description of King Charles II based on the eyewitness account of former English Secret Service agent John Mackey. Memoirs of John Mackey. Charles, comma, Duke of St. Albans is the son to King Charles II by Mrs. Gwynn. He is of a black complexion, much like King Charles. Okay, this is Westminster Wax Museum in England. Don't know if you can see him, but he is depicted as someone that is swarthy. Okay. This is a wax image of King Charles II, the great-grandfather of Charles James Fox, who was the first foreign secretary of a member of the Whig Party. Yes, he was black. His pedigree is in his name. He was named Charles after King Charles II of England, and then he was named James after his great-grandfather, King James VI of Scotland. Always nice to know. Here is here is a statue of Charles James Fox, 1749 to 1806. All right, let me see if you can see this brother. Well, when you give him in a wax figure, he kind of looked black, I guess. You know, I ain't the one to lie, so listen. Memoirs of General Capel. A great man than Robert Adair lives in Lord Albemarle's recollections or memories. It must have been in the summer of 1806, when he was about 7 years old, that his father took him to see Mr. Fox. In many respects of his personal appearance, different little from the many pictures and prints of him. His face had almost its swarthy appearance, which is in the the let me see, caricatures. I don't know how to pronounce that, but the word is pronounced Caricatures. You're welcome. Of that day obtained him the name nigger. Wow. I have to think about that because it's, where are they, in England, Spain? I don't know, but I know somewhere around there, black is negra. So I don't know. This is a credible eyewitness that knew Mr. Fox from the time he was 8 years old to his adulthood. This statue of Charles James comes closer to the eyewitness account from General Capel. The word nigger was an ancient name from antiquity that meant black. Okay. Nigger. All right, listen. There was nothing derogatory about it. Okay, so he's saying that it was just a way to describe a dark complexion. Niger. I'm saying because I keep pronouncing the word because you know how we spell words. If it's niggers, Nigger, This is Niger, so is it Niger or nigger? All right. And then I think of this, negra, when they say color black, Spanish word. So yeah, so my mind was just squirrel moment. Anywho, there was nothing derogatory about it. You can get a hint of this when you read in the Bible, Acts and the 13th chapter and verse 1. It says, now there was in the assembly at Antioch a certain prophet, and the teachers as Barnabas and Simon called Niger. Niger. I guess Niger. I don't know. Niger. Exclamation mark. In the fact, in the year of 193 AD, Caesar was so black that they called him Niger. Charles James Fox Niger. I'm just going to say nigger. Okay. Charles James Fox Niger was the Secretary of State of Britain in 1782, 1783, and 1806. This means that the Black Britain was the Secretary of State during the American Revolution. He wanted me to read it like that because it was bold, okay? It was bold. Do you remember what I said in my introduction? I said that the Blacks managed the Revolutionary War on both sides of the Atlantic, and we are now beginning to see the proof. Black Secretary of State, Great Britain. What up, big brother? William Pitt. William Pitt's from 1759, 1801. Now listen, Mr. Pitt look a little dark, swarthy, okay? Now you give me a picture. I'm okay, I can see. I'm looking at facial structure and all that. So yeah. Okay, sir, I see you. Again, our stuff is not in the Bay Area. It's in England. As you can see, the former Prime Minister of England was depicted as a black man, not only in engravings, but also in the pictures of him in his generation. Mr. Pitt was a black British Prime Minister of England during the American Revolution. Black British Prime Minister. Again, this is printed in bold, so he needed me to get a little hyphy with it. I'm not yelling at you. He just wants me to put emphasis on his stuff. All right, here's another picture of William Pitt, the young urinary, and King George III of Great Britain. What is the point? This picture of King George III, Queen Sophia, and William Pitt, the younger, are portrayed as a ruddy-skinned people. The word sanguine means deep red, which is identical to the word ruddy, which also means red. This would come as no surprise to you if you knew that King George and his wife, Sophia Charlotte, were Black Germans from the Hanover, Germany. Oh, you can see his wife. Listen, okay, I didn't know what that was. Not to call her that. That's his wife. Let me use the different finger. That's his wife. I had no idea what that was. I didn't know she was in there. Okay, where did William Pitt and his family come from? Let's ask Professor Boyd Dawkins to answer my question. Okay, so this is Professor Boyd Dawkins speaking. He said, Professor Boyd Dawkins said, Britain was inhabited by the Black Basque/Welsh from ancient times. In the year 449 AD, certain Englishmen came from the North Germany and the southern shores of the Baltic Sea and pushed the British westward. And later on, Britain was renamed Wales or Welsh. You have to remember that the Britons began to be called Wales or Welsh after they were pushed westward. Before the whites invaded Britain, the entire landmass was called Britain, never Wales. In the year of 449 AD, certain Englishmen came from North Germany and southern shores of the Baltic Sea and pushed the Britain/Welsh westward. The whites Anglia pushed the blacks, Welsh or /Brits, westward until Wales Cumberland, Westmoreland, Highlands of Scotland, Devon, and Cornwall. The Brits came from Cornwall, located in the far west of Britain. This man was black, and his pictures of that day present him as a ruddy man. See the next page. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you, family. Okay, so let me see. So these Black Britons were indeed Roman citizens. This reminiscence of Paul as he responded to the threat of being beaten without a trial. In the 22nd chapter of Acts, I love the book of Acts. Acts 22, 1 through 3. And then you're going to go ahead to the verse 24 and 25. So verse 25, and as they bound him with thongs. We're not talking about that. That wasn't there back then. Fix your mind. As they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, "It is lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned." Paul was a black Benjamite Israelite, and yet he had a Roman citizenship. The Black Britons / Israelites, you know what? That is so powerful, because I tell you, when I got into this truth, folks always came with me with Paul. What about Paul? Paul was no Hebrew. I was like, Folks love bringing up Paul. But Paul was an Israelite. Absolutely. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. All right. So the Black Britons, that was a little 13-second commercial. My bad. The Black Britons / Israelites were Roman citizens who became the founders of the 13 colonies. The seed of the Black Roman / Britain is alive and well in the 13 colonies / America. In the book that the Black Britons left behind, they called themselves Roman citizens. He's saying that because in the book, he said that, in the book of Acts, he referred to himself as Roman citizen. All right. Hey, Dad. Okay, so John Wilkes, British Parliament. So listen, Mr. John. Listen, I don't know if you can see him good. And again, our stuff is not in the Bay Area, okay? You're going to have to fly to Britain to get this stuff. The swarthy John Wilkes, or Black Welshman, was elected as a member of England's Parliament in 1757 and was also a former alderman of London. During the American Revolution, he was a supporter of the American rebels, bolstering his popularity in the 13 colonies. I slowed the image down on the next page so that you could get a better glimpse of his blackness. Listen, he looked like he'll tell all the business. John Wilkes was a politician, journalist, MP, and soldier. Mr. Wilkes owned a newspaper called the North. See, I told you. Look, I didn't even know he'll tell the business. Listen, he owned the newspaper. He was helping spreading news. Listen, I know my people. Called the North Britain. The document in his hand is a bill reform. What is this? For a parliamentary reform, Black Parliament. Here's another picture. Says Justice Mansfield, King George III, and Lord North. Oh, he's definitely black. He all the way black. Absolutely. And this is a cartoon. It said Lord North. That's a dope name. Lord North was the Black Prime Minister of Britain from 1752 to 1790, and he is depicted as a black man riding on the back of a king's buggy. Lord North was the British Prime Minister during the American Revolution. Black British Prime Minister. This is Chief Justice Mansfield, Britain political cartoon, 1775, driving King George and Lord North. So my dad had that curl. I don't know if y'all can see that curl right there, but it was remind me of his Jerry curl back in the day. Anywho, Lord Justice Mansfield, born Scone, Scotland, became Attorney General in 1754, and several months later, he became Chief Justice of Great Britain. Lord Justice Mansfield is depicted as a black man in the engraving and art. He is perhaps the best known for his judgment in the Somerset case of 1772. Justice Mansfield ruled that slavery had no basis in common law and had never been established by legal legislation in England, and therefore was not binding law. This is what I have been saying all along. The Black kings of Scotland and England did not recognize slavery, and that is the reason that the slavery verbiage wording is absent from the colonial charters. The Scottish people have been Black from ancient times. Black Chief Justice, period. Okay. Black people have been taught self-rulership by the Most High, the Most High Yah. When he gave the Hebrews the tools of self-government, his statutes, his law, and his judgment. We took what Yah taught us and taught the rest of the world. In 1600 BC, the Black Phoenician king Kenmus gave the Hebrew alphabet to the Greeks. The ruddy King David of Israel recorded the Hebrew alphabet in the 119 Psalms between the years 1060 BC to 1020 BC. The alphabet below is the correct Hebrew alphabet that was used from Abraham to Yahushua. This alphabet appears on the coins and manuscript which date from the time of the prophets and the apostles. I got to put emphasis on that, okay? Here is our alphabet. That's what our I don't know why I went outfit, my bad, but that is what our alphabet originally looked like before they gave us ba, you get it, the English alphabet. This image of Hebrew alphabet in your Bible, 119 Psalms, are incorrect images. The images of the Hebrew alphabet in your Bible, 119 Psalms 119. Anybody else want to go to Psalms 119? Are incorrect images. That alphabet, and so he's showing you a little. I definitely want to see that, so I'm gonna go to Psalms 119. Okay, the square alphabet of the Edomites who reside in Jerusalem. In 322 BC, hold on, what was my last sentence? That alphabet is the square alphabet of the Edomites who reside in Jerusalem. Okay, so in 323 BC, the Greek pharaoh requested that 72 Hebrew elders come to Egypt and translate the Holy Scriptures into Greek, and they did. This Hebrew alphabet trickled down to the Latin-speaking people, Etruscans, and from there it flowed to the rest of Europe. This is the reason that Paleo-Hebrew is called the Great Fountain. There is no such thing as the English alphabet or the English language. He said, now listen, normally he gets it bold, and I understand where he's coming from because he writes in bold. But this one, he wrote it in bold and then he underlined it. So you know what that tells Bonnie? Read it again, sis. Read it with power. I will. He said, there is no such thing as the English alphabet or the English language. And I think he did like that. And the West, I'm sorry, that ain't West, that's white. And the white European scholars know this. Absolutely. The Black British were using an alphabet that consisted of Hebrew, Latin, Greek, and German, long before the invasion of the whites in 449 AD. This means that the Black British/Welsh taught the white barbarian their language. Hold up, what? This means that the Black Britain/Welsh taught the white barbarians their language. This language was called Walsh or Welsh. The whites took the land, yes, they did, the titles and the history of these Black people. If you possess an alphabet, you can legislate, and if you can legislate, you can nationhood. You can have nationhood. This is what the Black races have been doing for the last 6,000 years, building nations. If you don't believe me, look on the continent of Africa. There are currently 54 Black nations on the continents that Black people built. Let's get back to the argument at hand. King George, Black Parliament. Henry Grenfell, 1712 to 1770. Now listen, this man don't look like a bit of black. I won't lie to you. I'll let you see. Now listen, he got my eyes all day. He got my eyes. But I don't know if he black. But listen. Don't y'all laugh at me. Look at that. Whoo. All right, listen. I felt that owl there. Anywho, Henry Grenfell not only became prime minister in Britain, but here are the other positions that this man held in his lifetime. Treasurer of the Navy, First Lord Admiral, and he became the prime minister in 1763. By the way, the man is not two-tone. There was an attempt to whiten this photo. Okay, listen. Casey, don't you start on here. Don't you do it. I told you to get your mind together. Now listen. He was black. I know my eyes. Listen, everybody, you just don't walk up with these big old eyes now. I knew these eyes, but they whitened the photo. In fact, in honor of him, we're gonna read. Oh, snaps. Now, if this brother don't look like a Della Reese somewhere, okay? Oh, he gave me Della Reese vibes, okay? When you walk down the road, every burden, yeah. Never mind. All right. Some of y'all don't know what that show was. Anywho, Charles Pratt, Secretary of State, 1714 through 1794, engraver George Faber, National Portrait Gallery. This Black Briton once held the position of lawyer, judge, Whig politician, attorney general, and Lord Chancellor. The British Parliament that was managing the war effort in the colonies was Black. Plain and simple. Black Secretary of State. Come on, sir. Now, if we did DNA, I bet you somewhere, Della Reese is somewhere. Maybe a great. And he proud of her. She did her thing while she was here. Listen, Mayor Crosby and Alderman Rich Oliver of London. They Black. Listen. Come on, braids. And they talking like, yeah, man, just casual talking. And you can actually go to the Museum of San Francisco and take a look at that at your ancestors. You know I lied on purpose, because this is in London. Our stuff ain't here. We thought. All right, another one. Queen Charlotte, wife of King George III. And he is showing this photo because it is attempt to whiten the photo. Okay, attempt to whiten, attempt to whiten. Again, it's the eyes, man. Oh, the closer you get to the colonial revolution, you begin to see images of Black Teutonic court of King George III. The minister of King George court was descendants of the Black royals of Wales and Scotland. Queen Charlotte Sophia, the Black. We're going to have to finish tomorrow because you know what? Story time is good. But we're going to have to finish this tomorrow because I am past time. So I thank every one of you all for joining me. We are on page 44. And we're talking about Queen Charlotte. And listen, I can't wait to tell you who she married and how they did the thing. But we're going to find out tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Friday. All right, so why don't we just go ahead and pray? Father, Yah, we thank you for story time. We thank you for all those who were able to tune in and listen. Yah, bless the hearers and readers of those that were able to tune in. Father, I thank you. I pray that you will continue to show your love through story time. May your people continue to wake up during this time, Yah. I pray that as those that are awakened, that we will remember to always show you, Father, because you said, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. And so I pray that we will continue to draw people to you by showing who you are, not our knowledge, not lifting up our knowledge or anything like that, Yah, but may we always lift up you in everything that we do, Father. I pray that your way will be done and that your people will continue to guard your commandments because you guard the covenant and you have never let go of the covenant. So we thank you for your covenant. We thank you for your commandments. We thank you for the Sabbath, Yah. We ask that you continue to teach us more of what was lost, what was stolen, and what was stripped away from us, Yah, as we continue to unfold our heritage, our birthright, Yah. We pray that you will just help our mind to adapt and take on these customs as our own. In fact, they are our own. So just take it back because it was originally ours in the first place. So Father, I thank you. I bless those that have the heart to be engrafted in. We thank you for those that may not be of the bloodline, Yah, but we thank you for the heart posture that they have, Yah, and I pray that you will continue to bless those and have your way in their lives. May you be lifted up in their lives. In Yahushua's name I pray. Amen. Amen. Y'all got all that forehead today, huh? My bad. Listen, it's all right. It's all right. We love y'all. Me and the Holy Spirit, where there's 2 or 3 gathered in his name. Because I'm always referring to somebody as a we. Listen, I love you all, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bye.